Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. You're listening to the Lions Sports Talk podcast. Me and Joey Peeps are once again ready to roast this bone. Thanksgiving Day already, man. 3 games on the lineup. Joe Peeps, what's up there, kid?
Hey, I just want to give a special happy Thanksgiving to all our loyal listeners, the people who actually do bear the time to listen to us jackasses talk. They are make bad picks every week. I know I speak for myself on that one. Happy Thanksgiving. If you don't listen to the line, then nobody cares. We don't wish anything to you. But for our listeners, absolutely.
Yeah, we love you. So, yeah, big round of applause for the listeners out there, man. Without you guys, we'd just be talking to ourselves. So, that said, let's get rolling, man. We got a couple good games today. One game was probably going to be a lot better if Mr. Luck was healthy, but he's not. So, Scott Tolzien and company will make the best of it tonight in Indianapolis. But first game, Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit is your Thanksgiving Day mainstay. Detroit 2-point home favorite, over-under in this one, 42.5. Peeps, Pepper Jack is unable to join us today, but he did submit some picks. So you go ahead and go first, and then we'll talk about what Pepper Jack had, and I'll give you my idea here too. Again, Detroit -2, over-under 42.5.
Complete toss-up game. This one, like we talked about before we broadcast, this is very, very, very tricky, and it's almost a game. I mean, if you're in Vegas and you see this one on the board, just sit back and watch it. Don't bet this. Don't bet this one. Too. It's very unpredictable.
Vegas, the only game on, you got to bet it. Come on, man.
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean, this is one you might want to sit out on anywhere else. I don't know. I would like to go. I think you take the home team in this one. I like the way Detroit's playing right now. Their offense looks really nice. And Minnesota did beat an Arizona Cardinals team last week, and which really, really shocked me that game. There was points in that game. I never saw that coming. But I think you roll with the Lions. I think you take the home team in this one. In the Dome, I like the way they're playing. Their offense is playing well. The weakness the Detroit Lions have is their pass defense and kind of their defense as a whole. But Minnesota doesn't appear to be the team that can exploit that right now because, Sam Bradford, the team kind of lacks weapons on offense. So for that reason, I think I will roll with the Lions in a close one. I'll say Detroit 20, Minnesota 17.
Detroit 20, Minnesota 17. Yeah, it seems like we're all on the same page. Pepper Jack, in his eminent wisdom, is taking the Detroit Lions to win this game by a touchdown, 24-17. Again, wow. I mentioned Detroit's a 2-point favorite. Minnesota 19-6 against the spread in the last 25 games, but 1-4 against the spread in the last 5. So that trend for them against the spread has really flipped on its head. Minnesota's also 1-4 straight up in its last 5 games. So the team struggled. They did make a nice home comeback. This is not a big travel mission for Minnesota to go to Detroit. I'm going to look at this one a little bit differently. I think Minnesota wins the game outright, 22-18. 40-point game sounds about right to me. This leaning under side. Minnesota's been an unders team except for last week with 2 defensive or special teams touchdowns. They have to rely on that again. Bradford's just very, very mediocre in that offense. But I like Minnesota to win the game outright, 22-18. But I bet you this will be a good one. This is shaping up to be one of those.
Yeah, there's no way I could imagine a blowout.
No, I can't either. I don't see it on either side. But I think it might actually be a good one today. So 22-18, Minnesota Vikings. Moving on because we're going to make this quick, fast, and what did you call this one earlier, Joe?
This one's like a call girl, quick, fast, and out the door.
That's right. 3 games to choose from. Tomorrow we will be coming back. Pepper Jack will join us as well, and we'll publish an episode doing all of Sunday's games. But for right now, just Turkey Day stuff, and it's pretty light and loose, man. So Game 2, 4:30, the afternoon game. This should be all of us with full bellies and a piece of pumpkin pie watching this one, or in my case, Bailey's and coffee. Washington Redskins travel to Dallas, take on the Cowboys in Jerry World. Cowboys are a 6-point favorite over under here, 52.5. What do you got, Peeps?
I think you just got to keep riding this Cowboys train. I think if you're going to take numbers, just keep riding the train until it stops. I mean, the Cowboys are on a roll. They're on a roll right now, and that's I got my inner John Madden work right now. Yes, we know I'm kind of stating the obvious, but I think you gotta stick with this team. The big line. Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott's playing like he's been in the league for 5 years now. It's just everything is clicking all for the Cowboys, and they're at home on Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think you just got to stick with them until they show you otherwise. I mean, I thought there were sketchy moments in last week where you think, okay, maybe this is their letdown week. Maybe they'll start to let down. Then they pull it out, still cover at the end. Gotta roll with the stuff with Jerry's boys. Keep it rolling. I'm going to say Cowboys 27, Washington 17.
Yeah, you know what? That's hard to argue with. Joe really is. Dallas 9-1 on the season, 5-1 in the conference, 2-1 in the division. This is a good football team.
One more point, and as far as Kirk Cousins and the Washington Redskins offense, you're not facing the Green Bay Packers this week. This team's a little bit better, actually significantly better on the defense. Green Bay is an abomination on the defensive front. It was just pathetic last week.
Yeah, Green Bay is bad. So this is a different team. This is not in Washington, which changes factors. Washington 7-1 against the spread in the last 8 games. They've been a spread killer, which has escaped me until recently. 6-1-1 straight up in their last 8. Jay Gruden's got this team playing. Totals have gone over in 13 of Washington's last 15 games. I think today is no exception. At 52.5 points, I see this total going over. It might be a nice second half play too, depending if somebody gets a big lead in the first quarter. I can see Dallas maybe getting out, playing some ball control. 6 points is a lot for a division game in the NFL. I'd like to point that out. That's a lot of points for a division game with a Washington team that I think is pretty good.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
5-3-1. The tie is kind of glaringly ugly.
I just don't know how. I mean, I think this could be a week where we find out a lot about these Washington Redskins. We're going to find out a lot today. If they can go into Dallas and give Dallas a good game, and who knows, division game, who's to say they can't pull this? They couldn't possibly pull this out. But if they hang with this Dallas team who looks really, really good and is on a roll right now, that says a lot about them and what Jay Gruden has been able to do with this team.
They do. And I'll tell you what, I think that Dallas wins this game late, but I don't think they win it by more than 6 points. I don't. I think Dallas wins this game 31-27.
Could be.
See it going over. I see Dallas not covering. Washington stays within the cover. So I'm going to take Washington plus the 6 points.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a test early on to see how they,
because it might be a really good game.
It could very well be. I'm not so sure about Washington's defense, though. I mean, Aaron Rodgers seemed. I mean, as bad as the Green Bay defense was, Aaron Rodgers kind of diced them up.
He did.
I know that's Aaron Rodgers, but
there's a huge difference in Dallas between Dallas and Green Bay too. Green Bay just throws the ball, can't run the ball. Dallas can do both. They seemingly can do both really well. So
today's the test for the Washington defense.
I like Dak to have a nice day in Dallas. The Cowboys famously as a franchise play exceptionally well on Thanksgiving Day. Now, you and I have discussed this, and for all the other gamblers out there, as well as I do that whatever the Dallas Cowboy team did on Thanksgiving Day in 1989 doesn't mean shit compared to today. Doesn't mean diddly squat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean.
I hear those statistics, and I feel like I'm obligated to bring that up because people say, well, Dallas is always good on Thanksgiving Day. That doesn't mean anything at all. I don't care what Tom Landry did.
I don't know. I recall a couple years ago, Dirty Mark Sanchez went in there with Philly and just absolutely tore them a new ass on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, he did. And maybe there's something to it. I just think that there's a sense of pride playing on Thanksgiving Day. They've done it forever, and I think it does make a difference. But you just can't take information and statistics from 1970.
No, because each team is different by a year. I mean, that's just a goofy statistic that really means nothing.
It is. And moving on to the third game, as we said, this is going to be our Vegas prostitute show. Is in out. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Off you go downstairs for coffee and craps. That sounds really good right now. We should have been out in the desert for Thanksgiving.
How about that? Yeah.
I could use coffee and craps right now before these games start. Pittsburgh travels to Indianapolis, the Circle City. The Steelers are an 8-point favorite in this game, over-under at 50 points. No Andrew Luck for the Indianapolis Colts. And you know what? Pepper, to back up there, we had Pepper Jack taking the Dallas Cowboys 28-24. I'm not sure if I had mentioned that. But moving on here, Pittsburgh Steelers are an 8-point road favorite. Pittsburgh -8, over-under here 50. No Andrew Luck. What do you got?
You know, this was a game I think this would be the game I might catch the early showing of Bad Santa that comes out tonight during this one, because with Andrew Luck in this game, I think this would have been a high-flying good show. With both teams very, very shaky on the defensive side, you have two really good quarterbacks airing it out. In this one, this could have been a good one, but with Scott Tolzien, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, Scotty. You might be a good guy, but I don't think you're built for this. Who knows? Maybe Scott will surprise us all, but I can't roll with that. I mean, I have to go with the Steelers. I hate to be. It's so blasphemous in the NFL to pick all favorites in a day. But I don't see any other way you can't pick the Steelers to win this handily. And if you are the Steelers and you cannot beat a Scott Tolzien with this Colts defense in the Dome, this matchup favors Antonio Brown to get loose. Le'Veon Bell should go off. This matchup favors Pittsburgh 100%. And if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers and you cannot, in the Colts' current predicament, knock the shit out of them today, then you have big issues. I would say. I think Pittsburgh.
I think you're right. Give me your pick and your total here.
Well, I can tell you what. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be all Pittsburgh in the whole game. I think maybe Indianapolis gets a junk touchdown at the end. I'm going to go Pittsburgh to win this 31-20.
Yeah, I'm not too far off on this. Pepper Jack actually sees Indianapolis staying within the 8, 27-20. Pittsburgh wins the game. Indy stays within the 8. And I don't think that's too crazy. I think, like you mentioned, there could be a garbage touchdown somewhere at the end. But we have to remember that Pittsburgh's defense, they're going to load up on Scott Tolzien, they're going to load up on the box, try to make Tolzien beat them in the air. But Pittsburgh's defense stinks.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, this is not a good defense. Something I want to point out is the money line on this game is it's plus 300 for the Colts, minus 400 for Pittsburgh. There's really a very slim chance that Indianapolis wins this game. I don't think they have a shot as long as even if Roethlisberger were to bust a toenail and come off, Landry Jones is still beating the Indianapolis Colts today. But they're going to give up some points in the process. I can see points being traded in the process, but Pittsburgh offensively is way too talented. I look for a guy like Eli Rogers to possibly contribute today. Le'Veon Bell should have a nice afternoon. Roethlisberger should be able to pick them apart and win this game handily. I do see them hanging about 34 points on this Indianapolis Colts defense. I think the one play that you've got to be really leery of today is that over-under at 50. It's high. And there's a chance that this game could roll out 31-14. And you don't cover.
That's how I see it going throughout the course of the game. Like I said, I just see Indianapolis getting maybe a garbage touchdown at the end. Pittsburgh up 31-13, and they get a garbage at the end.
I do too. Look for like a Robert Turbin dump off pass or a Josh Ferguson dump off from Scott Tolzien that he cracks for a 35-yard scamper. Some kind of garbage score, and then maybe a Frank Gore from the goal line if they can move down. I think Pittsburgh's defense has a field day against. But keep in mind, Scott Tolzien's not a piece of junk. He's not. He's not an NFL starter by any stretch of the imagination. But the guy's been around. He's played some games. He's had some starts. Years ago when Manning was hurt, Tolzien started, did not play well. Probably don't expect him to play well on a team that I don't think is very good in Indianapolis anyway.
No, and if Andrew Luck, with all the talent that kid has, is struggling with the current predicament of the Indianapolis Colts, it's just not looking good for my man Scotty today.
It's not. But the Colts 4-1-1 against the spread in the last 6 games. Each one of those 6 games is with Andrew Luck. They're 4-2 straight up in the last 6 games, again with Andrew Luck under center. The total has gone over in 8 of Indianapolis' 11 games, again all with Andrew Luck under center. No Andrew Luck, different football team. Andrew Luck loves to stretch the field with guys like T.Y. Hilton and Dante Moncrief. That's not happening today. I do tell you what, though, I will see an opportunity that if Pittsburgh gets up and tries to make them beat them in the air, look for a big T.Y. Hilton day. They can hang the ball up in the air. That guy can run with everybody